Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Jeff Cohn and Andy Kueny back for another episode of the Team Building Podcast, where we interview top team leaders, broker owners, ops managers, and success managers across top teams in the United States and abroad. Super excited about today's topic. We're going to be diving deep into masterminds and what masterminding is all about, both from a team perspective and from a learning and growing perspective across the country. But first, let me introduce the one, the only, Andy Kueny. How you doing today, Andy?
Good morning, Jeff. I'm doing amazing, man. I'm excited about this. I normally don't get to be on with just you and me, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. So we're looking forward to, we're going to do a screen share here in a minute. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to watch the screen share. Otherwise, we'll just talk you through it. Having Andy here is going to be super awesome. We've done a lot of high-level team leader calls. Andy is Omaha's elite success manager and has been managing the team for how long now, Andy? Over 5 years. We have almost 40 agents on our team, and Andy's responsible for holding all of them accountable. In one-on-ones, Andy's responsible for providing oversight to our administrative staff at times, and a lot of other things. So he was checking his phone right before we started, and I was giving him a hard time that he was having to respond to just a simple question from one of the agents. He said, Jeff, I'm responsible for 40 agents. And I said, great attitude, extreme ownership.
Yep.
So
maximize the time, buddy.
That's exactly right. So before we dive into masterminds, we have a really special event coming up in Omaha, Nebraska. It's June 24th through June 26th. You've probably seen us post things on social. You've probably heard us talk about it. And this is going to be like our last invitation. So the event will be, when this podcast airs, I think it'll be about 3 weeks out. It'll be perfect timing for you to book your tickets. It's the Team Building Summit in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the second year that we've hosted this event. We'll have about 50 people in attendance. It could get bigger and just go crazy here in the next couple of weeks. Last year, I think 50% of our tickets sold within 3 weeks. I think agents are master procrastinators. And so I think we're hoping that we see a big following. We have it set up for about 100. We're hoping to see about 100 people in attendance. So I wanted to talk about that event a little bit. I'm really excited about it. We put a lot of time and energy into thinking about what would bring the most value to a team leader or broker owner that's just getting started or that's in the process and is having struggles breaking through certain barriers. So Andy works in a more full-time capacity than I do, working with our team leaders. We have over 75 team leaders in our team leader ERS product. Andy, what would you say are like the top 5 or 6 obstacles that you see team leaders facing as we teach the ERS content? Like, what are some of the biggest challenges for those team leaders?
You know what? I would say, the pretty standard ones are time management, recruiting, training, and retaining. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, our 3 pillars that we always talk about. I will say one of the biggest things is I find the ones who actually join the coaching program on the Thursday calls and those types of things, they are really a lot of times overwhelmed with a lot of the information right up front. Mm-hmm. I always see that the ones who progress further faster are the ones who actually came to our workshop or came to the summit and actually got to spend 2 days digesting things instead of just being, oh my gosh, jumping in the river right away, right? And so I always find that those people tend to progress a little faster without all the pitfalls, and they're okay, you know what I mean, taking it chunk by chunk instead of being like, whoa, I'm being fed with a fire hose all of a sudden.
Nope, it totally makes sense. Yeah, and it's funny, I'll draw a parallel real quick. I learned how to speak fluent Portuguese in Brazil, and when I was taking Portuguese classes, they sent us to Sao Paulo, and so I lived there for about 6 weeks, and it's just like crash course Portuguese, and I felt like in the first 2 weeks, I knew more Portuguese than 4 years worth of high school Spanish. It's because it's a crash course. And so that's exactly what you experience when you come out to the Team Building Summit this summer, or you attend any of our future workshops. It's a crash course. It's 12 hours of workshop or 24 hours essentially of content at the summit. And then the coaching helps you implement all of those things. But Andy, I think you nailed it. I think agents really do struggle with growth. And I think it's because a lot of team leaders are stuck in that rainmaker role, trading time for money and servicing the buy and sell sides of the transaction versus exiting that part of the business and focusing on building a business. And so I'm with you. I think it's lead conversion, holding agents accountable to their KPIs, key performance indicators, creating marketing service agreements, which is a topic we're actually going to be talking on this month, the month of June. The topic is zero basing your admin expenses and your marketing expenses.
Yeah.
So the masterminding topic is kind of going to parallel this very nicely. And we'll talk about how to find these breakthroughs for your pain points in your business. And again, we'll get to that in about 5 minutes. I just want to make sure all of our listeners know exactly what to expect if they choose to come to Omaha. So let me kick this off with a discount. We've only offered this discount code one time on the podcast. Anyone listening, we are going to give you $200 off the VIP ticket, which is normally $497. For you, it'll be $297. Just put in 40 off when you check out, 40OFF. We're giving you $200 off the VIP ticket. VIP includes a ticket to the championship game of the College World Series. All of your meals paid for. I've never been to an event that covers all your meals. So all your meals will be paid for. Front row seating on round tables for anyone that buys VIP. And then breakout lunches both days with the VIP team leader speakers and our keynote speakers. So Andy, why don't you share with the audience who the VIP speakers are going to be at this event? And by the way, if you're listening right now and you're like, I'm not going to the event, I'm done listening to this podcast, we are going to make this event available to you via live stream. We'll be talking a little bit more about that like a week prior to the event, but there will be a live stream option. And anyone that's in ERS coaching has access to all of our events forever in our special events section on our website. So if you join coaching, let's say this fall, you'd be able to go and watch the entire summit. We'll have it all recorded. So Andy, talk about some of the team leader speakers who are going to be there and maybe some of the things that they're experts at.
I will. And I love how they plug in to what we're teaching. We basically give you a topic that we want you to master, and then we bring up a thought leader in that industry to show you how it's done, right? And so I love how they plug in and tie into what we're trying to get people to understand and implement. But I know from when it comes to online lead conversion and prospecting, we're going to have Josh Cunningham from Rockerbox. He's going to speak. I love listening to him every time. I've seen him now probably 3 times this year. We were down in Miami. I saw him, and I always pick up something new, even though I've seen him speak a bunch of times. We got, when it comes to mail marketing, direct marketing, those types of things, we have Frank Klesitz from Viral Marketing, CEO. Then we're huge, and I know Kevin is going to love this one, but when it comes to tracking your KPIs, all those types of things, we're going to have Brian Charlesworth, the CEO of Sisu, which we've been implementing as well. And I actually, about a half hour after I get off of this call, I'm going to have another call with him because we're one of his beta testers. So we're going to go through a few things with him as well. So I'm excited about that. We've got, if you're looking to invest in properties, we've got Guberneck from REI Vault.
So it's actually Gary Boomershine.
Boomershine.
Nope. And Boomershine is not going to physically be here. It's going to be his company. He's going to be sending his 2 direct reports, who I actually just spent 2 days with in Santa Cruz last week. They are awesome. Julia and Wayne. Julia is going to be on stage with my business partner, Clint Bartlett. We've been using REI Vault for almost 6 months now, having amazing results. They essentially send out tons of postcards and then use my call center in the Philippines to do follow-up calls and set up actual appointments for investors. And it also applies to traditional real estate lead gen. So you're going to be hearing from them. Also, Matty Aitchison. What is his organization? It's Millionaire Mindset. He has that podcast as well as The Rich Life. And so he'll be talking about his coaching organization that teaches people how to invest. So that's all. Those are all the keynotes. The VIP team leader speakers, we found about 6 top team leaders from across several brokerage brands who are going to be speaking to exactly their experience being within the ERS ecosystem. They'll each get about 30 minutes on stage. I'm going to speak to Dustin Griffith and his brother Chad. Yep. They've run a very successful team out of Denver. They're at Remax, I believe. And they've had a ton of success stepping out of the buyer's agent role. They were the Rainmaker model. They both do still focus on listings, but they've built a great team around them. Andy, why don't you take a turn and mention another one of the team leaders you know that's speaking?
Okay, I know that we're going to be having, excuse me, we're going to be having John Holtzinger. He's a team out of Northern Kentucky. They did over 400 units last year, and they're interesting because they are broker owners. So they own a brokerage, and then they also have a team within the brokerage. And they did close to 500 units last year. So they're a 3-pronged attack. They do a lot of investments. They have individual agents within their brokerage, and then they also have a team as well that's about 15 to 20 agents.
We also have an agent out of Columbus, Nebraska. She sells over 400 units a year, her and her team. She's got about 20 agents. What makes Renee Mueller is her name. She's at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And one of the things that makes her really unique, in my opinion, she actually owns a bank. She owns a building, a commercial building, 13,000 square feet. She's just launching a title company. So she's done a really great job at creating parallel businesses that help support her real estate business. She also owns a construction company, a development company, and a lot of other awesome things. So we're going to, as we interview these top team leaders, we're going to find the thing that they're best at. And in 30 minutes, they're going to download that one thing that they feel has really accelerated their business and taken them to where they are now. A few other mentions, Logan Boyce is going to be speaking. He's up in Montreal. He has successfully exited the Rainmaker role and now runs the CEO role. He doesn't have as many unit sales because their volume's so high, but I think they did about 40 million in volume last year. All of these speakers, by the way, both the keynotes and the VIP team leaders, are listed with a video introduction on our website, the Team Building Summit.
I will tell you, Jeff, real quick, the amazing thing I think about Logan is, yeah, they do around, I think, 150 or so units, right? But the cool thing is Logan used to do about half of his team's business, and he was able to step out from selling and still increase the amount of units that his team did. So not only did he replaced his production, but he also increased the team overall.
Yeah, that's not easy at all to
No.
do. Very challenging. And that's part of what the team leader product is there to teach everyone to do with ERS, is to help you move out of that Rainmaker role, because we've all been in it. I was Rainmaker up until 2014, and I've been successfully exited out of that role the last 5 years, and obviously I've had a lot of great experiences being able to go and do the things I'm more passionate about. I got sick of showing houses, and I know there's a lot of people listening that they're sick of showing houses too, and you don't have to do that anymore. All right, so I just shared my screen, so for those that are on YouTube watching, you can see this. So it shows we're, as of today's recording, we're 23 days out. As when you guys listen to this, it'll probably be 18 days out. Pretty simple. Just go to theteambuildingsummit.com. You can watch my little video and my letter to anyone that would come in attendance. Obviously, the co-founders of ERS, myself, Andy, who we have on today, and then our ops manager, Kevin. We all three will be there. And then the keynotes that we've mentioned already are all listed there with video introductions of each of them. And then we've mentioned some of these team leader VIPs. Robbie Bro, Andy, you want to speak to Robbie real quick?
Yeah, Robbie Bro, he has a team of about 10 agents. They did about 200 units last year. He's with EXP. He just made that move about a year ago. And that's one of the things I like about all of our VIP speakers is we have about 6 different brokerages represented.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like that everyone's at a little bit different level in their business. As I read through these, from a unit standpoint, we've got 130 units, 200 units, 300 units, 383, 430, 630, and 146. And then volume, there's a 44 million, 43 million, 125 million, 71, 83, 120, and 43. And one of the things I'll say, and we're going to get into masterminding right now, but one of the things I'll say is when we went out and masterminded, we were overwhelmed. If you'd go and meet with someone that was doing 7 times the volume as you, it almost was like the frame of reference didn't apply. You couldn't see yourself in their shoes. So you needed to visit with someone and mastermind with someone that was like 2 to 5 years ahead of you, not 15 to 30 years ahead of you. And we'll get into that. The last agent I want to highlight is Megan Wise. Megan has done an amazing job building out her business. 43 million in volume last year, 146 units. She's at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and in the network, she was ranked in the top 11 agents in the entire network. So Megan will be on stage as well. So for $297, you get to hear from 5 different CEOs of top tech companies in the country. You get to hear from 7 different VIP team leaders. We have sponsors as well in Dotloop, Wise Hire, Boomtown. They'll have their booths there. They'll be able to talk to you all about the products that they offer. We don't bring sponsors in unless it's someone we're actually personally using. I don't do sellout sponsors is what I call it, where the person putting on the event is selling out just to generate some money at their event. I'm only using people I believe in. And then the last thing, just speaking quickly to the event, the 24th, we're going to have a party at the Capitol Marriott on the rooftop. It's a pool deck party. It's a great time, 7 to 10. And then the event runs all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday. So that's the 25th to 26th. The night of the 25th is the College World Series. You can look at the schedule right there on our website. But we do a really good job giving agents breaks. We have a coffee bar the entire day. We have the lunch that comes in for an hour and a half. And that's a mastermind lunch. So all the VIPs will be at the lunch. It's not one of those events where, like, I won't name names, but you'll see somebody on stage for 1 hour or 30 minutes. They'll speak. You don't see them again. We are there the entire time. You will get as much Jeff Cohn, Andy Kueny, Kevin McGowan, and name every other VIP that's going to be there. You will be around us the entire time, asking questions, engaging, challenging our different mindsets, etc. So, Andy, any last thoughts before we dive into masterminds?
I love the point that you made that no matter where you're at in your business, whether you're a Rainmaker yourself and you just have an admin, whether you got a small team of 5 or whether you have a team of 20, we have a VIP team leader who's there, who is either right where you're at or right ahead of where you're at, that you can sit down, pick their brain for 2 full days.
Yep. So the last thing on this, if you want to book your ticket, be sure to use code 40OFF, 40OFF. You're going to get $200 off the VIP ticket. You just come right here on the website, click on buy ticket under VIP, put in that discount code when you're checking out on Eventbrite. That VIP ticket also includes a live event recording. I forgot to mention that. So
That's right.
if you don't make if you don't make every note, or you want to share it with other agents in your office when you get home, you're going to have a recording of the entire summit, which I've never seen anyone offer that before. I think that's pretty unique. And if you can't make it, we will have more information about a week prior to the event about how you can purchase live stream. We're not going to sell the recording. We will sell access for people to watch it live. The only way to have the recording is if you buy that VIP ticket. So for $297, you could buy the recording and not actually physically come. But of course, we would love you guys to come and check out the event. Last thing, the Omaha Marriott downtown Capital District is where everyone's staying. We had booked a room. We have a room block that I know is guaranteed through the 31st. As of this airing, we should be in the first week of June. So I'm not sure that they'll still honor this, but I hope that they will. We're still in negotiations to see if they can extend our room block guarantee, which gets you like 50% off the rooms. And then if you want to see testimonials of people that attended last year, we have a few testimonials right there on our website. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, like I said, this is our last time talking about the Team Building Summit. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out. You can actually email me personally if you want. It's just jeff@eliterealestatesystems.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. If it's coaching related, for anyone listening, if they want to learn more about the team leader coaching, which I know we've now spoken a lot to, just go out to ersdemocall.com, and you'll actually set up a call with our director of growth, Logan Boyce, and he'll be able to walk you through exactly what that coaching product looks like. All right, masterminding. So we're going to spend about 10 or 15 minutes on this topic, and I love it because people don't talk about it often enough. This idea came to me personally back when I was in college, and I don't know if I heard a professor say it or if it was in a book that I had read, but essentially I was trying to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was a junior in college, in that weird phase. I was going to business school. I had about 10 different ideas of what I thought I should do. But someone said to me, you know what, quit guessing what it would be like to be a put in the name. Go and spend a day with all these people. Go shadow them. And so I started calling all the people I knew that I respected and said, hey, can I come visit you for a day at work? Can I take you to lunch? Can I learn from you? And over the course of 6 months, I took about 20 business professionals out to lunch and or spent a day with them at their office in all different capacities. And I learned very quickly. I didn't want to have a boss. I didn't want to have hours I had to be at work. I didn't want to have a ceiling on how much income I could generate. I knew I needed to be in sales essentially, or an entrepreneurship venture. And so then I chose to get into residential real estate. I did the same thing. I went to my office. I looked at all the top agents in Omaha, actually. Agents will even say that I went to them before I was even licensed and told them I was going to own I was going to be the number one agent in Nebraska in the next 10 years. Aaron Horn told me that. We were golfing last year. He goes, you told me. He's like, out of anyone out there, like I never, ever expected that you'd ever do that. I mean, I'm 23 years old.
I still wish I could have run into 23-year-old Jeff.
No, you would not have. So the way we were able locally, I went out and I just said, hey, how do I be successful? Met with a lot of top team leaders and agents, and they were willing to share. And then once we started launching our team back in 2011, when Kevin McGowan came on as marketing and ops, and we signed up for Boomtown in 2011, I used the same strategy, but instead of just looking at agents locally, I said, you know what? We're now in the Boomtown network. Who are the top agents across the country? And to date, we've visited over 100 brick and mortar offices. We've talked to thousands of top agents and coaches around the country. And we have learned that even reading books and listening to podcasts is the best way, I think, to get information. But one way better is masterminding. So Andy, share quickly. I'd love the audience to hear the story about how the masterminds work at our brokerage. And I hope that those listening that are at-large brokerages have some type of mastermind option. But maybe speak to your experience so far with the masterminds at our brokerage level. Obviously, I just got done speaking about how to create masterminding and networking with top agents, both in your local market and nationally. But most brokerages offer some type of a masterminding option in your own city.
Yep. So our brokerage here, we're a little bit unique where we have almost 900 agents under one roof. So
literally one office.
Yeah. It's a huge office.
100,000 square foot office.
So we have our broker here. He has divided everybody up into basically by your production. And I think he has now 12 different mastermind groups of about 15 agents each. And it's a year-long commitment. You've got to show up. They do it once a month. And you basically pick a topic, right, that you need to that you're going to discuss the following month. And everybody's going to come in and bring their best, I don't know what you want, secrets, whatever it is that you're going to share with the group. And then we also talk about what the market is like, what people are seeing, those types of things. And it's nice to know, it's good to find out what your peers are doing, right? Sometimes you pick up a nugget here or there that you're like, you know what, that's a great idea. I'm going to start implementing that. Or a lot of times you just get validation, right? You know that you're doing the right stuff. You're like, okay, I'm doing the right things. And the nice part about it is it's all people that are at the same level as you when it comes to knowledge, production, those types of things. So they're going through the same struggles that you are as well. So I like it. That's gonna lead into a little bit about how to create your own mastermind. One thing that I always love is when my job or my role on this team can be a little frustrating sometimes, right? Because I'm trying to herd 40 different agents and make sure that they're all successful in the ways that they want to be. And you can never, ever, ever, ever complain or vent down. It always has to go up. And so Jeff is usually the one who gets that from me, right? Well, it's the same thing too when it comes to masterminds, right? For it to be valuable, for you to want to do it, to get things from it, you've got to mastermind up as well. And you've got to make sure that you're with the right people. So many times you start mastermind groups and they're amazing, and then they fizzle out after like 2 or 3 months. People stop coming. People stop coming because they're not getting value, right? So that's why you've got to start making sure that you have the right people in your mastermind.
So Andy, let me jump into, there's 2 ways to look at these mastermind groups. One is from a leadership standpoint to provide value to your followers, your agents and admin. You help create and facilitate masterminds. And I'll give credit to our CEO and broker owner, Vince Lisi. He's done an amazing job putting together the groups, but also attending. I think, does he attend all of them?
Every single one.
I mean, no matter what the production level is, he's there. I think that every good mastermind, when you're obviously creating this and facilitating this, needs to have a thought leader at the table, almost a facilitator, if you will, or mediator, controlling the conversation, because everybody's been in that mastermind room or networking event where 2 or 3 people dominate the entire conversation. Everyone needs to have an equal voice. So one of the things we did, Omaha's Elite started masterminds 3 years ago. We did the same thing. We broke it into 3 groups based on production. We did 0 to 4 million, 4 million and up, and then anyone that was a team leader within our team. And we met every month. And one of the ways I structured that, because I always wanted to be physically present, we just staggered the meetings one afternoon, once a month. So we would rent, not even have to pay for, but we'd reserve a room at the Kona Grill. That's a franchise. I think you probably have one in your market. They had a private room in the back. And we would go noon to 1, 1:30 to 2:30, and 3 to 4. Usually the team leader group wanted to do 3 to 4 so we could do happy hour and in the day. But like Andy said, everyone comes up with a topic this month of what they want to talk about next month. And they're picking the topic that's the greatest pain point at that time in their business. So if it's spring, like let's say February or March, it's probably about engaging your sphere. Let's run through some topics, Andy, real quick. Engaging your sphere and generating listing leads would be one there. Outbound lead generation, best strategies for lead conversion, what each person's greatest fear was, what they felt like was the number one thing keeping them from being able to reach the next level in their business. One of the things that was interesting, Andy, as we went out and visited all these teams all over the country, we found that most people we visited were stuck in a 3-digit. So maybe they were in the 200 unit range or 400 or 800, but they had been stuck there for 10 years. And so we would ask, why are you stuck there? And what we found is it comes down to 3 core pillars of any successful business that's going to grow. And that is, they had lost sight in those 3 pillar items. Those pillars are, number 1, recruiting talent. That should be your number 1 goal as a team lead, is always looking for talent in the admin staff, talent in agents, talent in everything. Number 2, retaining that talent by offering value. Always looking, how can I offer more value? How can I offer more value? That's how you're going to retain. And then number 3 is offering continual training so that each person in your organization can become the very best version of themselves.
Absolutely, man. I love it. It all goes back to that. It is so easy.
It is so pretty easy. Simple. It's simple. And so what happens is we lose sight because we get stuck in the weeds. We get stuck in our job, and everyone gets comfortable and they're doing their 200 units or their 800 units, whatever it is, and they get comfortable. We found like we will admit we've been stuck. We hit 730 2 years ago. We did 630 last year. This year, I think we'll end in the 600s. So here we are stuck, and we can self-actualize and ask ourselves, why are we stuck here? We know the answer. We started a bunch of ancillary businesses. We lost focus in the recruiting. We're still doing retention. We're still doing training. That's why we're not going down, but we lost focus in the recruiting, and we're continuing to put an effort in recruiting. I'd like our team to be doing 1,000 units a year. I think I've said for the last 3 or 4, we'll hit 1,000 units by 2020. So I'm putting that out there into the universe. By the end of next year, our team will do over 1,000 units. I think 1,000 is a good number. it makes me excited to do 1,000. And then I think my goal will be to maintain 1,000 units in Omaha and then put continual focus into coaching and investing. Those are the things I love and I'm passionate about.
Well, a lot of times too, Jeff, is the thing that got you to 400 units won't be the thing that gets you to 600.
Absolutely.
So you've got to know your numbers well enough, right? Track what you've done so that you can actually take that next step, or be willing to remove yourself from the business so you can start being a thought leader and find out what is the next thing that's going to help my team grow. A lot of times team leaders are too busy still servicing and producing themselves that they can't look outside, right? Look outside their own team and find out, what do I need to do next?
Yep. But of course, within ERS team leader training, it's $997 a month. It includes 4 hours of high level calls, similar to ones that you hear on the podcast, but diving deep into 12 core topics over the 12-month period. It's month to month. So if for whatever reason things get slower in your business and you're not wanting to continue to put time into investing in yourself, then you can pull out anytime you want. And then it also gives you unlimited seats in the agent product. So if you're a team of 2 or 25, all of your agents will get agent training. It's 8 hours of agent training content a month. So net total with Q&A, it ends up being 14 hours of content for $997 a month, and then tons of other discounts. So to learn more about our coaching and our team leader product and everything that's involved in that, you can go out to eliterealestatesystems.com and just click on live stream or learn more under, what is it under? I don't even know what section it's under. So
it's under live stream. The live stream.
I thought it was under live stream. All right.
Yeah.
And then of course, we'd love to see you at the summit. So I know we talked a ton about that. We've talked a ton about that. We just really want to get as many people there as possible. We're losing money on it. We knew we'd lose money. Everyone that hosts events loses. We'll probably be out $5,000 or $10,000, which is totally worth it to us to bring a lot of like-minded individuals together. And of course, we will monetize by selling coaching. So we really hope to see you guys there. There's a ton of value there, tons of CEOs. I've never seen that many CEOs speak at any event before. And I really appreciate them being willing to do that. Not to mention all the VIP team leaders, 7 top agents that have built teams. No better environment, Omaha, Nebraska, especially at that time with the College World Series, literally the championship game, we're all going together. Even if you're not a baseball fan, it's a great time to be in Omaha. It's beautiful weather, a lot of fun stuff to do in downtown Omaha. I think you will be pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely.
So again, just go out, the teambuildingsummit.com, buy your ticket, use the 40 off discount code. And we really appreciate you guys hanging in here with us today. I know we talked a lot about Team Building Summit today, but the masterminding topic is huge. We guarantee if you implement a masterminding strategy in your learning and growth process, that it will take you further, faster, and it's a lot more fun to do it with other people.
And don't limit yourself to your market at all.
Or your brokerage.
Right.
I see a lot of agents, I won't name the company, Keller Williams, where agents only mastermind and network within their brokerage. And I love Keller. Most of what I know today is because of Gary and the books I've read from Gary and podcasts I listen to from Keller agents. But get out of your brokerage sometimes. Sometimes you get so caught up in one train of thinking. I found that it's really helped me develop my mindset and vision by going around to other brokerages, not even just real estate, but get into other businesses and see how they do things, see how they do accountability and training. A lot of other industries have advanced a lot further than residential real estate. And so we have a lot to learn. So don't be scared to mastermind with your financial advisor or a doctor or an attorney and get ideas from them of how they're building and scaling their businesses as well. And you might see crossover and things that you could apply into your business.
Sticking with one thing is how you get stuck in the 200s or the 300s or the 400s. It's a great, it's a good place to be stuck, right? But if you want to keep going, you've got to step outside your box.
I want to get stuck in the thousands. Can we get there, Andy?
Done. On it. If you let me get back to my phone, I could probably make it happen.
Hey, there you go. Go work.
Awesome.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Great episode. Really appreciate you hanging in there through all the Team Building Summit sales. And last request would be that you go out to iTunes. If you see value in these podcasts, we want to get over 100 reviews. I think we're at like 80, 85 reviews. Go to iTunes. Go look up the Team Building Podcast. You can, I think, just put in Team Space Building. You'll see our little icon pop up. If you scroll down like 2 or 3 scrolls, you'll see the 5-star rating. Give us 5 stars and then give a shout out either to me or Andy or to the guests that we had interviewed on that particular show. Let people know that this podcast is all about teams and all about helping you build and scale your business, not to mention mindset and living and leading a life of your dreams, which to me is the most important. The money's ones and zeros in a bank account. It's what you do with that money that will define your life and what will truly bring you happiness. So with that, Andy Kueny, thank you, sir. This is our first episode ever together.
Love it.
I had a great time, man.
I want to come back.
Let's do it. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you.